राधे 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 तेरे बिना कृष्णा लगे आधे आधे. Excuse me for my horrendous voice, but this video is not being shot to showcase my singing talent. Yes, I am not shooting this video to tell the world that I am better singer than Arijit Singh. I am shooting this video to talk a little bit about Radha. Yes. Tere bina Krishna to lage adhe adhe. Now, why does Krishna look adhe? Means half. Is Krishna Radha's better half? Is Radha Krishna's better half? We worship Radha Krishna together just because they are husband and wife. No, they are not. So every time we worship Radha and Krishna, we are not worshipping Radha and Krishna. We are worshipping the delinking, this departure from marriage with romance. So when we are worshipping Radha Krishna, we are basically telling to ourselves that, hey, romance can survive outside and without marriage. Yes. And romance has got absolutely nothing to do with marriage, and marriage has got nothing to do with romance. Marriage is a social, financial, cultural contract that is done in exchange of sex with money and money with sex. So marriage is a kind of ideological, financial, economic business, and it has got nothing to do with romance and love. Now, those people who would not agree with me, they must tell themselves that they worship Radha Krishna because they are married. So we don't worship them because they are married. We worship them because they are lovers. And lovers may not necessarily be married. So the extraordinary mythological reference of Radha and Krishna and their relationship is a celebration of queer. Why? Because Radha Krishna celebrates romance outside marriage, and it is queer because it is a celebration of friendship, and friendship is potentially, massively, potentially a queer possibility, because friendship is the only form of relationship that is not gendered, that is not sexed. Now, this is the reason why patriarchy hates friendship. Every time I bring a boy to my house, my mom says, who is he? What is your relationship with him? I bring a girl to my house, my mom says, who is she? What is your relationship? Is she your girlfriend? Are you going to marry her? Are you going to produce kids? Are you going to give us grandchildren with her? So this is the trouble. So parents are agents of patriarchy. Marriage is a celebration of patriarchy. And Radha and Krishna and their relationship, and when we worship them, that is a celebration of romance, but that romance is mythologically delinked, separated from marriage. So they are lovers, but they are not married. And when we worship them, we are worshipping friendship. They are for queer, and they are for a term that is contingent, liquid, fluid, and therefore incredibly, my favorite word, queer. Now, it brings me very, very close to Shyam Shalvadurai's Funny Boy. Now, why does it remind me of Shyam Shalvadurai's Funny Boy? Because there's an extraordinary character in that novel. No, I'm not talking about Arjuna. I know you are waiting for me to talk plenty of queer studies on the protagonist called Arjuna. No, I'm not talking about Arjuna. I'm talking about Radha Aunty. Yes, there is a character called Radha Aunty, and the character of Radha Aunty develops a bond with Arjuna, our protagonist, and that bond is queer. And there is a line when Arjuna says, Radha Aunty is my favorite auntie, is my bestest friend. Now, something that Arjuna never shares with parents. What Arjuna does not share with parents? Arjuna does not share with parents friendship. Unfortunately, this is true to most of us. 99.99% children, they do not share friendship with their parents, and that's the problem. I'm sorry, I am addressing this, but I'm addressing it because this is probably the biggest patriarchal problem that we have in our culture, in our society, in our beautiful culture and beautiful society. Now, because we do not share friendship with our parents, with our uncles, aunties. If we do share friendship with our parents, I mean, most problems this society is being plagued with would be solved, would be sorted out immediately without the intervention of law and everyone. Now, RG, going back to Shalvadurai's Funny Boy, RG develops tremendous friendship with Radha Aunty. So does Radha Aunty with RG. Now, I am very intrigued by the cleverness of Shyam Shalvadurai with which he has introduced Radha Aunty. Not because he develops a friendship, but because the title or the name that Shalvadurai has kept for that character, that is Radha. Now, the very name Radha is a symbol of friendship minus marriage. Radha never married Krishna. But who does not worship Krishna and Radha together? Everybody does. But we don't realize what we are doing. We are actually mythologically paying our tribute, paying our homage to love and romance outside marriage. A love and romance that is not limited, circumscribed, or imprisoned by marriage. And that's why this love, which is freed from the patriarchal concept of marriage, is liberating and hence fluid and hence incredibly queer. So, Radha Aunty, therefore, is a tremendous allusion to our mythological figure of Radha, and therefore with Krishna, and therefore with their relationship, their love and romance, and therefore celebration of love and romance outside marriage, and therefore there is a reference of the survival of Prem, Leela, Radha outside patriarchal normativity of marriage. So ancient Indian culture is all about love, is all about romance. But that love and romance was not necessarily tied with marriage. It is tied with marriage. Love and romance is tied with marriage only after the British came. Only after the British came. And then we started somehow linking love with marriage and marriage with love and romance. But it had never been our Indian culture. Our Indian culture, we always celebrated love and romance outside marriage. And that's why queer is very much Indian. And plenty of people who disagree with me and tell them that yes, you're correct, because Radha and Krishna, we worship because they are married couple. Yes, They are husband and wife. And we have imported Radha from French culture and Krishna from American culture. They are not Indian culture, right? Good luck to them and their quality of education. Now, it again, as a very proud queer theorist that I am, it again makes me almost forces my hands to remember, to remind you of a very important queer theorist. And her name is Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick. Now, why I am reminded of Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick? Because Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick has talked about a particular theory of athwart. Now, what is athwart? Athwart means not this. Athwart means not this. Athwart means this. I hope you could visually track my physical dramatic gestures. So athwart is not this. Is it athwart? No. Is it athwart? No. Athwart is this or like this. So athwart means a kind of slanted angle, so which is neither this or not this. So it's not this because athwart doesn't support patriarchy. It's not this because athwart does not directly oppose patriarchy. So what is athwart? Athwart means something that pretends to accept but secretly rejects. I repeat, that pretends to accept you but secretly keeps on rejecting you. What does that mean? That means I have come into the profession of teaching not because I am a huge fan of teaching profession, but because I'm absolutely fed up with the patriarchal normativity of teachers. So I thought that let's get into the profession and let's subvert the whole concept of epistemology and teaching from within. That means, am I opposing teaching profession? No. Am I supporting teaching profession? No. Am I supporting teaching profession? Yes. Am I opposing teaching profession? Yes. So therefore, it is both supporting as well as denying. It's both celebrating as well as denigrating. Now, it reminds us of a particular historiographic origin of the term queer. Now, why and how did the term queer came in the history of queer theory and queer studies? The term queer theory or queer came in queer studies or queer theory because queer was originally used, employed as a kind of a as a kind of a slang, abuse, tirjok, galagali. Now, the LGBTQ AI plus community, they started initially opposing the fact that the heterosexual world calls them queer, strange, or bizarre, or weird. Now they, instead of rejecting the whole policy of the world calling them strange or queer or weird or something like that, they have started, okay, let's not deny that we are strange, we are bizarre, we are odd, we do not fit in. Let's accept the term. Let's accept all the slangs that the world is thrusting on us, all the slang that the world is offering us. চলো যে যত গালিগালাজ পারছো আমাকে দাও, আমি সবারই গালিগালাজ ভালোবেসে গ্রহণ করে বুকে জড়িয়ে ধরে নিই। Now, when you accept all the slangs, you take it, that means you are supporting it. But then you subvert it from within. That means you are denigrating it. So it is both a support as well as denigration simultaneously. More to come, and with this thought, I'm leaving you with. And I'll surely meet you very soon with the historiography and the deconstruction of queer studies. Thank you.